Sighting time, start. Thirty seconds.
Just wait, they're there. As soon as we can start, or as soon as we're done with these sighters, they'll show up as record shots.
Stop. The following commands are for all firing points. You will have 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining on your preparation sighting time. Start.
Shots go through the paper, it's all that. It's just, it's the cables.
Thirty seconds.
You can almost get a soda.
Stop, unload, insert your safety flags, lay down your pistol, turn and face the audience, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, USA Shooting would like to welcome you to the 2014 Winter Airgun Day 3 competition. This is your open men's air pistol final. Let's meet your finalists. On firing point A, with a Day 3 qualification score of 580, Will Brown. On firing point B, with a score of 574, Jason Turner. On firing point C, with a score of 571, Alexander Chichkov. On firing point D, with a score of 574, John Zurich. On firing point E, with a score of 572, Nick Bauer. On firing point F, with a score of 570, Jason Herndon. On firing point G, with a score of 579, James Henderson. And on firing point R2, with a score of 579, Greg Markowski. Your range officers for today's final are Gail Shetler and Bill Lutz, and your chief range officer is Mr. Earl Lippman.
Take your positions.
That's what you saw it all.
For your first competition students, load. Start.
Did you grab a memory stick star?
Stop.
After our first 3 shots, your leader with a score of 31.4 is James Henderson. He leads Mr. Maurer by just 1/10 of a point. Mr. Brown and Mr. Markowski tied 1.1 points behind. Looking to make up some ground in the 8th position is Mr. Herndon. He is 9/10 of a point behind Mr. Chichkoff, who is 1.6 points behind Mr. Turner.
For your next competition series, load. Start. Stop.
With the best score of that series, Mr. Henderson able to increase his lead. He now leads Mr. Brown by 1.7 points, with Mr. Zurich 1.1 points behind. Sitting in the 8th position is Mr. Herndon. He is 6.3 points behind Mr. Chichkoff. Feel free to get loud for your athletes as we move into our single shot series.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
Mr. Henderson continues to lead, and Mr. Brown in the 2nd position trails him by 1.3 points, with Mr. Zurich 1.7 points behind. With an elimination looming, Mr. Herndon sits in the 8th position. He is 6.8 points behind Mr. Chichkoff.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
In confirmed 8th position. On firing point F, with a score of 71, Jason Herndon. Mr. Henderson continues to lead, but Mr. Brown closes the gap, now 1/10 of a point behind, with Mr. Turner moving into the third position, 1.8 points behind. Sitting in seventh place is Mr. Chichkov. He is 7/10 of a point behind Mr. Maurer.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
Mr. Brown now takes over the lead. He is 2/10 of a point ahead of Mr. Henderson, with Mr. Turner 1.4 points behind. Sitting on the bubble in the seventh position is Mr. Chichkov. He is 1/10 of a point behind Mr. Zurich, who is just 1/10 of a point behind Mr. Maurer. While we do want you to make noise, please refrain from stomping on the floor as to not shake the floor for our athletes. Thank you.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
In confirmed seventh position. On firing point D with a score of 96.6, John Zurich. Mr. Brown continues to lead as Mr. Turner moves into the second position, 1.5 points behind. Mr. Henderson just 1/10 of a point behind him. Sitting in the sixth position is Mr. Chichkov, 7/10 of a point behind Mr. Maurer.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
Mr. Brown continues to lead. Mr. Turner in the second position, 1.5 points behind, with Mr. Henderson 1.6 points behind him. With this elimination shot coming up, Mr. Maurer sits in the sixth position, just 1/10 of a point behind Mr. Markowski, who is 4/10 of a point behind Mr. Chichkov.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
In confirmed sixth position. On firing point E with a score of 116.1, Nick Maurer. No change at the top as Mr. Brown now leads Mr. Turner by 2.1 points, with Mr. Henderson 1.2 points behind. Sitting in the fifth position is Mr. Markowski, 0.6 of a point behind Mr. Chichkov.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
Mr. Brown able to increase his lead as he now leads Mr. Turner by 2.4 points, with Mr. Henderson 2.9 points behind. Sitting on the bubble in the fifth position is Mr. Chichkov. He is 1.2 points behind Mr. Markowski.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
In confirmed fifth position. On firing point C, with a score of 136.2, Alexander Chichkov. Mr. Brown continues to lead Mr. Turner now by 2.1 points, with Mr. Markowski moving into the third position, 3.4 points behind. Mr. Henderson sits in fourth, 0.6 of a point behind Mr. Markowski.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
No change in our leaderboard as Mr. Brown leads Mr. Turner by 3 points, with Mr. Markowski 1.9 points behind. With an elimination movie, Mr. Henderson sits in the fourth position, 0.8 of a point behind Mr. Markowski.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
In confirmed fourth position. On firing point G, with a score of 157.4, James Henderson. Mr. Brown still leads Mr. Turner now by 2.5 points, with Mr. Markowski 2 points behind.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
the gap. He now trails Mr. Brown by 0.7 of a point. And Mr. Markowski sits in third, 2.8 points behind.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, your third place finisher with a final score of 178.5, Greg Markowski. And with 2 shots remaining, Mr. Brown leads Mr. Turner by 1.2 points.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop.
No change there as both athletes shoot identical 10.5s, and with 1 shot remaining, Mr. Brown leads Mr. Turner by 1.2 points.
For your next competition shot, load. Start. Stop. Results are final.
Ladies and gentlemen, your second place finisher with a final score of 201.4, Jason Turner. And your day 3 champion with a score of 202.7, Will Brown.